This is what they were running out there.
Vice President Harris came and visited my restaurant.
It's been months since the DNC suffered a crushing defeat, with Donald Trump and Jon Stewart steamrolling the election, and the shockwaves still haven't stopped. But Johnny's far from finished. If anything, he's just getting started, and it's heating up fast.
Movers and shakers of the Democratic Party must know her well. She worked at McDonald's. And she greeted every person with that 1,000-watt smile and said, "How can I help you?"
Jon Stewart has been on an absolute rampage, tearing into the DNC from every possible angle. And what he just unleashed total scorched earth. This isn't about petty insults. He's dismantling their narrative with sharp, calculated precision. If you're into raw, unfiltered political takedowns, hit that subscribe button now, because it's about to get wild. So where did Stewart aim his first shot? Right at the DNC's biggest blunder, their desperate attempt to prop up Kamala Harris. Let's be honest, she was a sitting vice president, a position that should command respect and influence. But instead of presenting real accomplishments or a solid track record, the DNC pushed a paper-thin resume wrapped in buzzwords, fake enthusiasm, and empty hype. Stewart wasn't having any of it, and neither is the public.
What's the important part of tonight was familiarizing people with the Democratic nominee's biography, a hallowed ball, to the trials and tribulations that form the ethos and spirit of the Democratic.
He tried to market her like a brand new iPhone sleek on the outside, but missing all the actual features. And Jon Stewart wasn't about to let that slide. He ripped into her biography, calling it pure fluff, no real substance, no leadership, no memorable wins. Just recycled highlights, staged photo ops, and hollow sound bites. He mocked the whole package as embarrassingly empty. Then came the moment he paused, locked eyes with the audience, and with a shrug delivered the line. Even that shrug hit harder than any debate punchline.
Hey, you know what? See on the anecdotes, quite frank.
The crowd erupted because Stewart had just said what everyone else was thinking, but was too afraid to voice. The DNC wasn't just outtouched, they were insulting the public's intelligence by pushing a candidate with no real track record. Stewart didn't call it bold strategy, he called it what it was, a joke. And the American people weren't laughing. No major wins, no bold actions, no standout moments, just a paper-thin resume wrapped in identity politics. And that leaves one glaring question. What exactly did Kamala Harris accomplish in 4 years as vice president? She had all power, presence, and a massive platform. Yet somehow, she left behind nothing truly memorable. No landmark policies. No leadership during national crises. Not even a single defining moment that said, "I'm ready to lead." Just silence where impact should have been.
We're running out there.
Vice President Harris came and visited my restaurant.
When election season rolled around, the DNC was in full scramble mode. With no real legacy to promote, they tried to sell vibes and it crashed hard. No signature legislation, no moment of true strength, and no decisive action when it mattered most. Just scripted speeches, awkward interviews, and long, uncomfortable silences whenever things got tough. Her role started to feel less like leadership and more like a PR stunt. The vice presidency became a ghost job, barely visible and void of impact. And now the DNC expects voters to believe she's earned a shot at the presidency. Give us a break.
We only had 4 weeks to put this movie together. You gotta be better than this. I was working and she walked in. I drove her in it.
Jon Stewart came in swinging, absolutely tearing into the Democratic National Committee for thinking they could slap a shiny title on mediocrity and sell it as gold. He didn't hold back, no sugarcoating, no polite criticism. Instead, he shredded their strategy, exposing the empty branding for what it truly was, a blatant insult to voters who genuinely care about real leadership. Stewart called it out as a performative sham and made sure everyone watching saw it too.
The shakers of the Democratic Party must know her well. She worked at McDonald's. And she greeted every person with that 1,000-watt smile and said, How can I help you?
When it came time to ask the American people for their vote, the DNC couldn't point to a single real accomplishment, not one concrete win, not one standout moment that proved Kamala Harris was ready to lead. And when they got called out, their excuse was almost laughable. We only had 4 weeks to put all together. Seriously, 4 weeks, let's be real, if there were genuine leadership to showcase. 4 days would have been enough. But here's the truth. They didn't have 4 weeks, they had 4 years. 4 years to build a record, craft a compelling narrative, and earn the public's trust. Instead, they delivered hashtags, buzzwords, and headline fluff. They were betting that surface-level identity politics would carry the weight of an entire campaign. And guess what it didn't? The voters saw through it, and the results speak for themselves.
Say that. When you work at McDonald's, or really any point of service occupation, how can I help?
You'd think the party, especially those in charge, could at least list a few of her top accomplishments. Right, wrong. Ask them for specifics, and all you'll get is a blank stare or the same tired talking points. It's not just disappointing, it's a full-blown disaster. A textbook example of how fake virtue signaling and shallow pandering can send a campaign straight off a cliff. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The DNC wasn't backed into a corner. No one forced them to choose a black woman to balance the ticket. This wasn't a historic moment carefully planned. It was a panic move made to appease the loudest voices in the room. Instead of choosing someone with a proven record, someone who had earned the spot, they picked a token. Kamala Harris wasn't a seasoned leader or a rising star. She was a political gamble, and it didn't pay off. Voters saw right through it. They weren't fooled, and they definitely weren't buying.
Rings. It's Kamala Harris. She called me.
My phone rang again, and it was Vice President Kamala Harris.
If you're lucky enough to be her friend, she calls you on her birthday.